Tears of Metal has come out, and I want to talk about this game. Even though it's only in early access and I've only played it for a few hours, there's a bunch of fun things I really want to talk about because this game is it's stupid fun. But there are also some flaws, so I want to talk about the pros and cons of the game and if it's worth getting in early access right now. The game itself plays like Dynasty Warriors, which I feel like is a genre we don't have a whole enough of. Like, Dynasty Warriors has pretty much just monopolized the genre forever. There's been a few games that have tried to copy it, but none to any success. So having a new game come in the genre, I'm super excited for. And when I say the game is dumb fun, I don't mean that the game is like physically stupid. It's just, I talk a lot about older games and how there was something magical to just be able to pick up the game and play it. Like Doom is my go-to example. Like, yes, there's a story, yes, there's some stuff you can dig into, but if you play the original Doom, you can just boot it up and within 10 seconds, you're playing the game, you're having fun, you're enjoying it. That is what is here. Like, this is a game I can just pick up and start playing and enjoying right away, and I super appreciate that. Now, as of making this video, the game is in early access. It just launched and it is $22.50 to purchase the game, which is on the cheaper end of games, as we've seen more and more people complaining about games costing $70. Having a game come out at half price or even less than half price is a nice refreshing thing, but I do think even for the $23 for this game, I don't think everyone's going to want to invest that amount of money into it. It is a multiplayer game, but the first con I'm going to bring up is one that I admittedly don't have a whole lot of experience in, but all the early negative reviews are saying that the multiplayer is unplayable. There's a lot of frame rate drops, there's a lot of performance issues, there's a lot of disconnects and other things, so beware if you're looking at like, oh, I'm going to convince all my friends to buy this, we're going to play together, we're going to drop all the money on it. That is not necessarily functioning. It is early access, so I do anticipate them to fix that and come out with patches. But again, as of making this video, the #1 negative review for this game is in the multiplayer, not functioning. I don't have any friends to play with, so I can't test it myself, so I'm inclined to believe that, so buyer beware there. Now for a positive, the soundtrack. I really dig the bagpipes, the pumping music. Like, I talk so much about how important it is to have a good soundtrack in a video game, and I enjoy this soundtrack. Like, I could see this being a soundtrack that I pull up when I'm just driving, and that's the hallmark of a good soundtrack, right? Like, good soundtrack stands on its own, you can listen to it on its own, and I think that you have that here. Now for a potential con, and I can't necessarily place this in a pro or con because for me it might be a pro, but for a lot of people it's a con, so I'm kind of putting it in between the two, and that is the combat. You see here, there is basically 4 different moves for the main character you start as, William Wallace. You've got XXX, which uses the ability to do 3 quick attacks. You've got XXY, which is quick attack, and then heavy strike, or you can just do a heavy strike, and then there's like a dodge strike, and that's it. And I know that in a lot of like the Dynasty Warriors games, people talk about combos, and there is like you could XXY, XXY, or XXXXY, or you can have like a lot of different combos in there. So there is a combo here, but it is very simplistic as compared to combos in other games of the genre. So for me, I don't necessarily hate that. I enjoy that it's just quick, easy, fast combat because I just want to jump in and start playing it. But I understand for people who want a little bit more depth and oomph to their game, having that very limited combo can definitely feel very unsatisfying. Back to the pros, I really like the graphics. I haven't had any issues with slowdowns or anything like I was talking about the multiplayer playing in single player. I think it's a stylistic choice. I like it. I know it's not for everyone, but I think the graphics suit it well. It looks well. It's easy to tell what's going on. Even when you're completely surrounded by enemies, you don't feel like you can't see what's going on or you're getting lost in all the glowing circles. One of the things I criticize like World of Warcraft a lot for and Diablo 4 a lot for is that there's so much going on the screen, you can't tell what is going on. I've yet to encounter something where there's so many enemies and so many circles and so many things happening that I couldn't tell what was going on. So I do like that visual clarity and I do like the art style. Back to the cons, and this is another one of those that's like, it's not a con for me, but it's a con for some people, so I'm going to put it under the con list, and that is the game is a full roguelike, meaning that there are expectations that you will die, you will start over, and you have progress that is continually made. Like, you have upgrades that permanently enhance your character, so the idea is that you play, get as far as you can, you get taken out, you go back to base, you do some upgrades, and you keep going until you can beat the game. Some people love that. Some people absolutely hate the idea of roguelikes or roguelites and losing all their progress and having to start over. I understand it's not for everyone, so no going into it if you don't like the roguelike genre. This game is heavily roguelike, so you probably won't enjoy this game. And like most roguelikes, there's a power-up system. I'll talk about that in the pros section because I do like the power-ups, kind of like Hades, where there's this inspiration from all the different gods who give you different abilities. In this game, the different clans give you different abilities. So there's a clan that's like glass crafters, so you get glass-based abilities. There's a clan that's all alchemists, so there's like poison and alchemy-based abilities. I like it. It's thematic. It's fun. You can feel the power-ups. Like, you know when you pick that up that it's going to change the way that you play. It's going to give you a little bit of extra oomph. It's going to change a little bit about the character. It's very fluid. It looks very nice. I like that. On the con side, however, some of the power-ups, and this is a bane of the entire genre, some of the power-ups are so meaningless or fall so flat that you might as well not have them in the game. And again, this genre is full of like power-ups like, oh, plus 10% damage, or when you dodge and then you attack twice and then you block and then you dodge again, you activate this ability where it's like so niche you're never going to see that happen. A couple off the top of my head was like just a basic 10% increase to damage. Each swing of your sword, it does about 20 damage, I think, where I'm at in this game, 24, 25 damage. So 10%, you're talking what, like 2.5 damage? Like, that's not very exciting. Then I had one that increased my block meter by 10%. Again, just a small percentage that you're not really going to feel all that much. Those kind of those kind of upgrades are not exciting, and I'd rather see more meaningful, impactful things put in the game rather than these fillers. They're just kind of like, 10%, yay. Like, okay, it's helpful, but is it fun? Not really. Back to the pro side, I do like that, like most roguelikes, there is a map and you can choose how you're going and what you want to do, and you have to plan out how you're mapping through things. But there's an interesting mechanic where the more missions you do, the harder the game gets. So you get this idea where like, well, if I choose the shortest available path, I get to the boss with more health and I might be able to pass the boss easier. But if I go the longer path, I have more chance for upgrades, I have more chance for power, but the enemies are going to get more powerful along with me. So it's kind of trying to decide, do I want to go quick and try and get in and out and rely on skills and dodges? Or do I want to try and make my character broken with a huge build so that even though the enemies are harder, I can absolutely massacre them? This boss you're seeing here, this is like the first actual, like the Act 1 boss to get to the next area. There are multiple areas, there are multiple characters to play with, so there's plenty to unlock, plenty to see. This boss was a little tough. I don't think you're expected to beat him on your first time through because you're learning his pattern and how he attacks, and of course, it was my first time through, so I did lose. But you're meant to lose, right? Because you need to go back to base to power up your character and spend all the money you've unlocked, so it gives you a taste for, okay, this is what you're going to be up against, and when you come in next time more powerful, you can know when to dodge attacks and when to do different things. There's a little defeat screen, your character's gone, but you're William Wallace, right? You're immortal, you are the Highlander, so it gives you a nice little screen that kind of tells you how many enemies you took out, the damage you did. You give a permanent buff, so again, that rogue-like, where you can upgrade things going permanently forward. It gives you a little bit of power, a little incentive to go again and again and again. Once you get sent back to town, you get the ability to start building your town. There is the barracks where you can upgrade your troops. There is the records where you can see all the abilities. And then here's your main character screen where you can get different weapons that give you different things, different abilities. As you can see, you do unlock different abilities with different weapons. So one of the reviews I mentioned was talking about how they didn't like that there wasn't a lot of combos. It might just be that like the starter weapon doesn't have a lot of combos, so it is interesting to see as we unlock more weapons, there might be more choices. Here's the permanent upgrades for the characters you were just seeing, where you get permanent health increases to make you a little bit more powerful. And as you can see, there are a lot of charms, emblems, locations, enemies. There's a lot of different things in the game. So there's plenty of content here, again, for $24, give or take. So is the game going to be an infinitely replayable game that you drop 500,000 hours in? At this point, I don't think so. Again, it is early access, so they probably will be adding new characters, new outfits, and lots of new things in the future. However, the game also has had a little bit of a rocky start. There hasn't been a huge player base for it from what I've seen, at least from Steam charts. So sometimes, as you know, games kind of get abandoned when they're not instantly going into the whole like, oh, it's viral. So there's a chance the game doesn't get as many updates or gets put on the back burner due to a okay launch at best. So if you're just looking for dumb fun for a couple hours, I do think it's worth the money in that case, but if you're looking to really sink your teeth into it and be playing it a whole bunch, I don't know that it's worth the money just yet. Overall, I would give the game really a 5 or a 6 out of 10. Like, it truly is average. It does some things well, it's got some fun, but it has some clear flaws, so I think calling it average is the best I can do. And I know in today's day and age where everything either has to be the best thing ever or it's the worst thing ever, calling something average is kind of seen as like, oh, that's the worst possible insult. But it's not. It's a totally competent game that is enjoyable for what it is, but it's not like a genre-defining masterpiece that's going to come and change gaming forever. But it is fun for what it is. So hopefully this guide is helpful to you. Hopefully this makes you want to try it, because I'd love more players to enjoy the game. Maybe jump into some multiplayer once it's fixed. I can't wait to see it. Let me know down in the comments down below what you think of it, and as always, have a blessed day.